I am so excited for this video, okay? I used to be a very skeptical person of this concept of manifestation, but it wasn't until I dug into it and started actually figuring out what the heck that word meant did I understand the power of it. And I mean, it is powerful. When I started implementing some of the things I'm going to talk about, I felt the shift and I honestly wasn't ready for it. I'm gonna ask you a question and you're gonna pay attention to how you're feeling in your body when you hear me say this. You are already good enough to have what you want right now. You're talented enough, you're beautiful enough, you're smart enough, you're capable enough, you're motivated enough, you're disciplined enough, you have enough resources, you have enough money, you have enough time. You are already enough, you have what you need to get what you want right now. What do you think about when I say that? For most people who are not doing the work, for most people who are stuck in their limiting beliefs, for most people who have horribly low self-esteem, they're going to come up with 1,000,001 excuses about why that statement does not apply to them. And if you are one of those people, if you came up with, you don't know my circumstances, I'm not pretty enough, I'm not like this person, I'm not like that person, I can't achieve what I want to achieve. If your brain automatically went there, then you are an excellent candidate for the framework that manifestation offers you in order to achieve your dreams. And I'm going to walk you through what that means right now, because I used to be a skeptic. I didn't understand manifestation. I thought it was woo-woo nonsense. I was wrong. And manifestation is probably not what you think it is. So I'm going to talk about what manifestation is, what it isn't, how you can apply it to your life, and where you can get started. This is a primer intro video. So what you know about manifestation might be entirely incorrect. Don't we love the internet for that? It's a gem. Manifestation has gotten very trendy and people have started adding to the conversation and confusion has incurred. A lot of the people who misunderstand what manifestation is think it's just wishing and hoping for your life to improve and not actually taking any action. They think that you're trying to snap your fingers and change your life without doing anything about it. And that's simply untrue. And before I get into it, let me just introduce myself. My name is Charlotte. I make self-development content and I'm all about being a work in progress and learning as I go. And I don't have it all figured out and you probably don't either. And it is a lie that anyone does. Like, we're all just figuring this out as we go. That's kind of the trick to life. Just gotta wing it. So if you find any of this interesting, please consider subscribing. And if you're on the fence, there's more content for you to look at, and at least leave a comment. Let me know that you exist. And it also really helps me out in the algorithm. And if you want more bite-sized information, I post frequently on Instagram and TikTok if you're into those platforms. Thank you so much for being here, and let's get into it. Let's start off with what is manifestation. Manifestation, in the simplest of terms, is mindset work. That's it. It's mindset. I'm not even kidding. You are changing your thoughts to change your life. My favorite definition of manifestation is it is the practice of bringing things into reality through focused thought and intention. It is doing the work to change how you perceive the world, how you feel about yourself, and how you move through the world in order to dispel limiting beliefs and actually start achieving your goals. And if you ever had a goal that you're struggling to actually achieve because you're struggling to be consistent with doing the things that need to be done in order to get there, you might have gotten the advice of, well, just do the work, just do it. Why can't you just do it? And you think there's something wrong with you because you're not just doing it, you're blocked. You are basically teaching yourself how to think differently so that you act differently. Let's talk about what manifestation is not. People often view manifestation as a form of magical thinking or supernatural intervention. And while there can be a component of spirituality or religious incorporations into people's manifestation work because that is truly what they believe, manifestation is not just about wishing and hoping. You are creating an optimal psychological environment for you to focus on your goals and change your decision making, trust yourself more, and that will lead to a more optimal outcome for achieving your desires. Another misconception is that manifestation means instant results. It doesn't. In fact, a lot of stuff will take years. Like a long time. It requires time, it requires effort, it requires consistency and dedication. It's about doing the work, being patient with yourself, trusting the process, trusting that you'll get there, and you're not on a time crunch. That, in fact, putting yourself on a time crunch will backfire on you. Don't do that. Don't do that. That's my advice. You're like, okay, Charlotte, I'm sold. I get it. It's not just about wishing and hoping. Where do I start? Okay, you have to start with your self-concepts. Manifestation is about doing the work, and the place you start with is how you perceive and feel about yourself. Now, you may think of this as self-esteem, you may think of this as confidence, and it is a lot of that, but it's more than that. We all tell ourselves stories about our lives, about what we're capable of, about what we're good at, what we're not good at. Some of these stories are lovely. Like, I love music. Like, I'm a person who loves music. Some of these stories are harmful and really mean. We're mean to ourselves. I am unlovable. That's a story that so many people have told themselves. I am worthless. That is an internalized story. And if you have any of these thoughts that swirl around your head, those all together make up your self-concept. So it is how you feel about yourself. It's how you perceive yourself. And as a result of that, you are going to behave differently. If you think that, oh, I'm just not good at math, I'm not a math person, you are not going to try to get better at math because you think you just lack complete aptitude for math. And so why bother? But if you learn the fundamentals and build your way up and start practicing basic arithmetic or whatever it is you want to learn in math, you can get there. You just have to believe that you're capable of it. The reason you have to start with self-concept is because once you feel capable, you become capable. It's really that simple. So let's imagine self-concept as a pyramid. And at the very base, the foundation of the self-concept pyramid is your self-esteem. How much do you value yourself? Self-esteem underpins your well-being. If you have a low self-esteem, your well-being will suffer. You need to start there. This is part of doing the work. This is it, babe. This is what you got to do. Next up in the pyramid of self-concept is self-identity and self-image. Self-identity goes back to those stories that you told yourself. This is how you define yourself. Who are you at your core? Self-image affects how you perceive yourself. So personality traits, physical appearance, it influences your self-confidence and how you present yourself to others. And then finally, at the top of the pyramid is self-consistency. It's how you maintain a stable and coherent self-concept across different situations. And it helps to create a sense of personal integrity and authenticity. Now that you understand what self-concept is, let's talk about what you do to change your self-concept. The way you go about changing your self-concept is by telling yourself different stories. And you have to affirm yourself every chance you get. I know, affirmations. I know, everyone gives out this information for a reason because it works. You have to constantly be checking yourself. Every time you beat yourself up, you berate yourself, you think, oh my gosh, I'm such an idiot. Why did I do that? Or like, I'm such a bad driver. I'm careless. Like, whenever you have a thought that betrays your self-esteem and your self-concept work, like, you need to stop it in its tracks. You need to catch yourself and you need to counter it with an affirmative thought. How you feel about yourself changes how you behave, and how you behave changes your outcomes. If you have a good attitude about a crappy situation, the situation might get better. If you have a bad attitude about a crappy situation, the situation is definitely going to get worse. So where I would start with self-concept work is figuring out exactly how you feel about yourself. What are these harmful stories that you have told yourself, maybe for your whole life, that are holding you back? And frequent ones might be, I'm not worthy of love. I don't deserve to make the kind of money I want to make. Only smart people make this much money. The underlying assumption there is that you are not smart, right? Like, that is a story that you've told yourself. Or only pretty girls get the boy, or whatever it is. Like, you have told yourself you're not pretty, and therefore you don't deserve a relationship. These are not true. You need to recognize that these are beliefs that you have internalized somewhere along the way, whether it is from a person in your life, people in your life, the media. You were beaten down as a child, we all were, with these harmful narratives that we have then internalized. And now as adults, it's our job to change that, to change how we feel about ourselves, because we're completely capable. I run into people who have a lot of trouble with affirmations. I had a lot of trouble with them. They just feel so wrong. You feel silly telling yourself something that you don't quite believe yet. And so where I suggest people start is just getting curious. So if you notice something pop up, just get curious. So you may think, like, if you look in the mirror, let's go with the I'm not pretty enough one, because I feel like a lot of people will relate to that. You're looking in the mirror, you're looking at yourself, you just got dressed, and you're like, oh my my gosh, I look disgusting. And then you catch yourself because you're now trying to be aware of your thoughts more than you were previously instead of just letting them ride. And you think, why did I say that? What is going on? Why do I think that? What is happening? And you will stop. You'll look at yourself in the mirror and you'll say, I don't like how my stomach is hanging out. That will come to mind here. And then you'll say, okay, why? What's wrong with that? Well, I don't find big stomachs attractive. And that's what you'll say to yourself. And so I'm not attractive and other people won't find it attractive. You could go a few different ways with that thought. One way I would go is, why do you think other people won't find it attractive? Just because you don't doesn't mean other people don't. Logically, you know that's true. You can't argue with that. There are people out there who find people with stomachs attractive. It's just accurate. So that is a fact. I have just stopped this narrative with a fact. And I'm like, okay, cool. We've gotten somewhere, at least. Keep going on the stomach thing. You could say, well, you can think of women you know who have stomachs that aren't perfectly flat that you find beautiful. Why are they beautiful and not you? And then you'll say, because I'm me. And it's like, well, is that very fair? Is that fair? Should you hold yourself to a different standard than them? No, you shouldn't. You see what I mean? It's just about interrogating your thoughts. It's not letting that thought get away with it. You're not believing everything you think. You're thinking critically about your own thoughts. And that is how you can slowly build towards, in that situation, I would say body neutrality is a good way to go. Like, okay, this is what I look like. And I would probably in that moment look in the mirror and be like, what do I like about what I look like? I would remind myself about what I like about my body. And if you say nothing, that's not true. There's something out there that you like, even if it's your eyelashes, even if it's your nails, even if it's just like the curve of your hip, whatever it is, there is one thing you like about your body. You just have to be open to the process, because I think that so many people just shut down the process before they even try it because they're like, it hasn't worked yet, it's not gonna work now. That's not true. You just haven't tried it this way before. You have to truly give it a chance. Self-concept work is never finished, not only because you're going to constantly be changing and evolving as you grow and get older, but also because some of the stuff is so ingrained that you're going to be fighting against these thoughts for the rest of your life. And that seems horrible and daunting, but it's better than just letting them win. And soon those voices will get quieter and quieter and quieter. And you may have one pop up and then you know how to quiet it again. And that's where you're going to get to ultimately in the end if you just stay consistent with the work. But I don't want you to think that there is some end point where you're like, all right, I fixed my self-concept, I'm all done. It's a spectrum. It comes in waves and it's going to ebb and flow. You're going to feel really good about yourself sometimes. Other times you're going to feel lower. And you just have to develop the tools to pull yourself out of those cycles of negativity, because everyone falls into them no matter who you are. It's just human. So next, let's talk about how you actually start to create the life that you want. As you're doing the self-concept work, you have to understand that your ultimate goal is to have your internal world and your thoughts and beliefs align with your desired self. So step 0 is always going to be self-concept work. You need to be doing that always, constantly, on the regular. Step 1 is visualization of what you actually want. Get clear on your goal. Get clear on what you want your life to look like. Get clear on what you want to be like. How do you feel on the regular? That is the most important part. How do you feel? You want to write this down, get as specific as possible. Usually what we want is a way for us to achieve a feeling. That's it. I want to earn 6 figures a year. Usually translates to, I want to feel stable. I want to have freedom in how I spend my time. I want to feel comfortable in my lifestyle. Those are feelings that money gives us: stability, freedom, security, those sorts of things. Step 2 is dealing with doubt. So when you are listing out what you want, you may think, I don't deserve this. How could I get this? I could never be a millionaire. I'm never going to find this specific person. You need to deal with that. You need to clear out insecurities, deal with why you think that you don't deserve those things. You're also going to be hit with obstacles in life that will try to prevent you from achieving your goal. It's just the reality of things, right? It's just how life works. In the manifestation space, you're going to hear people call it the 3D, 3-dimension, right? The reason people say this is because the ultimate goal of manifestation is to have your internal world be sufficient. That's the goal. You want things. It's okay to want them. You will achieve them. I believe it. You have to believe it too. And what ends up happening is, even if you don't achieve exactly what you had pictured, you still feel like you did. That's where the whole being delusional comes from. Like, obviously you don't want to ignore your responsibilities in life. You have responsibilities that you are accountable for, whether it's your job or your family, dependents, pets, paying bills, those sorts of things. We don't want it to ignore those things. But sometimes you have to ignore people who say things to you that are like, oh, you can't do that. Or like, why do you think you can do that? Why do you think that you can start your own business? Why do you think that you can find a guy like that? Like, guys like that don't exist. And you have to dispel that. You really have to not allow for doubt to creep in. So the second step is doing work to deal with your doubt, and that it goes hand in hand with the self-concept work. Third step is actually taking action. It is aligning your behaviors to your desires. And that comes with becoming the type of person who behaves the way that you want to behave. And I know it sounds like I'm talking in circles right now, but I am not going into any detail. This video is already going to be too long. I just want to give you guys an overview of the steps. You have to assume you already have it, because that will change how you behave. And you're probably thinking, okay, how do I do that? How do I trick myself into believing I have the thing already? There are a few ways you do this. First is you absolutely believe that you are capable of doing it. You're so capable of doing this thing. You've done it a million times and you can get it done today. And you're gonna be like, what are you talking about? I felt that way too. I'm like, I don't have the thing. That's why I want the thing. I don't have it. But there are ways to actually feel like you already do. So ultimately the goal for manifestation is to get yourself to do the things you need to do in order to achieve your goal. That is the goal. You want to change your internal beliefs and how you feel about yourself so that you start to do the things. It sounds so simple when I say it that way, but it's about convincing yourself that you can do it. You are capable of doing this. You're not wasting your time if you go out and try and do the thing. I feel like in my heart of hearts right now that I have 100,000 followers on YouTube. If you go and look at my YouTube channel, you will see I have 200. Not 200,000, 200. 200 people subscribe to me. It doesn't matter. I truly feel like I already have 100,000 subscribers. And do you know how I got there? It wasn't overnight. I did not start to believe that way. In fact, I looked at my number of subscribers. I think I had like 25 subscribers like a few weeks ago. And I'm like, what am I doing? And then out of nowhere, it kind of clicked for me. My life does not substantially change if I have 200 subscribers or 100,000 subscribers. Nothing really changes. The only thing that would change is my behavior, in that I would be obligated. I would feel this external obligation to the people subscribed to me to make content for them and to post it consistently. I told myself, okay, I can do that now. I have a portfolio of proof that I am capable of making content that people enjoy, because I have 30,000 subscribers on TikTok. I have almost 50,000 on Instagram. I make content for a living for a company. Ooh, I have a friend who texted me. I already have a portfolio of proof that I am capable of making content that people like. And it is only a matter of time that 100,000 people will be subscribed to me on YouTube if I just stay consistent. That is what I've told myself. And as a result of that, I feel like I have 100,000 subscribers because I'm behaving as if I have 100,000 subscribers. I have aligned my internal beliefs and my reality to my desired outcome. In order to be a YouTuber, you make YouTube videos. In order to make YouTube videos, you sit down and turn on the camera. And that is what got me there. I cannot articulate to you how true it feels to me, how grateful I feel that I have a following on YouTube, even though I know in reality, I don't. And that goes back to the self-concept work. You have to truly believe that you're capable of doing it. I have now told myself a new story. I am 100% capable of creating content that people will enjoy. If I just do it, if I am consistent with it, if I stop making excuses and actually put it out and do the work, it's mine. The goal is done. It's already mine. I've mentioned this term portfolio of proof. Basically what this is you're looking for evidence in your everyday life that you are capable of achieving your goals. You do have the skill set, you do have the knowledge, you do have the work ethic, whatever it is that you doubt about yourself and about your abilities, you find proof in your life, evidence that you are capable. And my evidence is I've done it already. That's pretty damn good evidence, right? I think that is a really effective way to start. Try to find areas of your life where you are confident and understand your capabilities. Ultimately, the point of this chapter is whatever it is you are trying to achieve, you need to find ways to feel like you already have it and to behave like you do. You need to start to align your identity with that person, because that is the only way that you are going to behave like that person, and that is how you become that person. You're already her. Like, the fact that you want to be that means that you're already that. Having that implanted in you and wanting to embody it means that you're capable of embodying it. You have to believe that. Now, the final two things I want to talk about is gratitude and jealousy or envy. I don't know the difference between those two words. I need to look that up. First, gratitude. You have to be grateful for every single thing you have. As I was doing this video, I'm on like a different wavelength right now. I'm feeling so happy, so giddy. And I need to tell you, my circumstances are not perfect, right? I don't like that I have that air conditioner on. We'll see how loud it is when I'm editing this, but I'm optimistic about it. I'm in chronic pain right now. I have a condition where I'm in chronic pain, so I'm experiencing some pain. And I'm not crazy about how my face looks, right? Like, these are all negatives that I could focus on, but I'm so excited about this topic, and I'm so excited about just the joy that making it brings me, like making this video brings me, has me on cloud nine. Like, I'm giddy. I can't stop moving. I have so much energy, and it just makes me happy. And I'm so grateful that I have not only the resources to do this, like this camera and this microphone flag that I love. Look at that little guy. Oh, it's so exciting. I'm just so grateful for the opportunity to make this video. It doesn't feel like work. You have to express gratitude every single day as frequently as you can, and it becomes just this infectious muscle. Like, you don't want to stop doing it because it makes you feel so good. It's almost like a natural drug. Your circumstances are never, ever, ever going to be perfect, ever. You're going to experience chronic pain. You're going to be making a video with loud air conditioner. You're going to have too much work to do, or feel stressed out, or worried about whether you can get it done. You just have to feel grateful for what you do have and what is going right. One of the most common things I'm grateful for is not getting into a car accident. And you may think, like, why would you be grateful? I'm like, the number of almost accidents I have experienced on a regular basis, I would say there's one almost accident a week when I'm driving a car. And I'm like, thank God, thank the universe, thank whatever power there is out there that I did not just get hit. I'm so grateful. And it makes me so happy every time that happens. I'm so relieved. I'm so happy. I'm like, that could have gone very differently. That's an example of just very simple gratitude. It's about just doing these mindset shifts where, you stop hyperfixating on what is going wrong or what is not optimal, and you start focusing on what is going right. What are you doing right? What circumstances are existing in this moment to make this my reality? Practicing gratitude is a quintessential part of manifesting, because if you are only focused on what's going wrong, it's not going to work. It's going to drag down your mood. It's going to make those internal beliefs just go by the wayside. Like, you're going to start becoming negative Nancy. Sorry to all the people out there named Nancy, but the alliteration, I'm sorry. You're lovely. I'm sure you're lovely. Practicing gratitude is going to feel really uncomfortable in the beginning, but once you start doing it, you're not going to want to stop. It's so infectious. It makes you feel so good. Sometimes I start crying when I practice gratitude, and I'm like, I didn't like it, but now I'm like, okay, let's do it. Why not? And lastly, let's talk about envy. It's going to come up because you're going to be looking to people who have already done the thing you want to do. You're going to be watching them achieve their goals or seeing what they already have that you don't have. And you need to turn envy into inspiration. You need to say, they did it. Why can't I do it? I am just as good as them. I'm just as capable as them. Just because they have it does not mean I cannot have it. We can both have it. That is an abundance mindset. It's not just one person will have the thing that you want. It's everyone can have the thing. So when envy arises, notice it. Again, this is all about noticing your thoughts, and say, just because she has it doesn't mean I can't. Because she has it means I can. She is an example. Add her to your portfolio of proof. She did it. Why can't I? I'm going to call it there. Thank you so much for watching. There is so much more I can say on this topic, and there's so much more depth I can go into. Let me know what you have questions about. If you want to hear more about this topic, something more in depth, I would happily make video on it. And if you want something to watch right now, I made this video about how you can learn to control your thoughts in order to better regulate your emotions. I'm very proud of that one, so I really recommend it. And again, thank you so much for being here. I'm so grateful. Bye.